लहरों से डरकर नौका पार नहीं होती, कोशिश करने वालों की कभी हार नहीं होती. These are some lines that South Africa has faced in the last 27 years. चोकर्स का नाम दिया गया, बट उस सब चीजों पे दे हैव पुट द लॉक, ताला लगाकर एक चैंपियन टीम ऑस्ट्रेलिया जो कि डिफेंडिंग चैंपियन थी WTC फाइनल में, उनको हरा के नाउ दे आर द न्यू WTC चैंपियन. एंड वी आर जॉइनिंग बाय ट्विक सर. सर, how does it feel to see South Africa winning an ICC title after 27 years?
Oh, absolutely amazing. I am so happy personally that South Africa finally won an ICC major trophy. 27 years, like you said, 1998 was the last time they won what is now called the Champions Trophy. At that time, it was called the Knockout Trophy. And we've seen over the years so many outstanding cricketers for South Africa, right? Test matches, one days, T20s, you name it, especially in the test format. You've had the likes of Graham Smith, Sean Pollock, A.B. de Villiers, Dale Steyn, Jacques Kallis, you name it. They've had the best of talent for years. But somehow, they've just never managed to cross that final hurdle and win that trophy. I think the choker tag on them has always been a bit unfair because they've always progressed to those knockout stages, gone to those final hurdles consistently. So they've been a consistent team for years. It's just that now, finally, that final hurdle has been crossed. And I honestly believe and pray that this should be the start of many more victories and accolades for them.
And especially the players who with this team since long and trying to win the ICC trophy like Jack Callis, Avi de Villiers, and Dale Steyn, how they will see the win because they are with the team since a long or trophy के लिए उन्होंने भी we are remembering 2015 semi-final World Cup when they were lost to New Zealand, and last 3 4 years South Africa had been consistent going to semi-final final, talking about under 19 of our women's team. But now they got a success, they got trophies.
Absolutely. So I'll give you a quick small story. 1991 November was when South Africa got back into international cricket. I was a lot younger then. I was at Eden Gardens. Clive Rice was the captain of South Africa. And they came back and they played that first one day international after being inducted back into cricket after their apartheid a ban that they had had. And Eden Gardens was brilliant in its appreciation of them. And that was the first time we saw somebody like Alan Donald. He took 5 wickets in that match, though India finally ended up winning it. 1992, the very next year, they went to the World Cup semi-finals in Australia, and they lost because of the Duckworth Lewis system, which suddenly
Yes.
changed the equation, where they needed suddenly, because of the bizarre calculations, 22 runs of that last delivery. Brian McMillan almost threw his bat in disgust and walked away. And since then, they've only had heartbreaks. They've reached finals, they've reached semi-finals, they've got close. Like the names I mentioned in the past, they've had outstanding players, legends of the game. Graham Smith, at the age of 22, was given the captaincy. He's been one of the best and most prolific captains in the history of Test cricket. Yet he could not win that final trophy. So it is a huge credit to this team based on how the journey has been, the history has been. And then for the past 2 years to consistently play good cricket with a team which does not have outstanding superstars as such, but a very strong, cohesive unit. You have a Rabada who bowls brilliantly, Ngidi bowled really well, Aiden Makram played brilliantly and has been led superbly by this captain. Remember, before they came into this final, Australia were regarded as favorites, and rightfully
Yeah.
so, because Australia have been the sort of champion side that we know. But to come to Lords, to bowl out Australia for 212 on day one, then go back and concede a lead, concede a deficit, and be bowled out for 138 in the first innings. It then takes a lot of character and courage for a team to come back from that and put Australia under pressure. And Australia, 76 for 6 or something, they were under serious pressure in that second innings. Mitchell Stark then came in, swung his bat, got some runs, and finally ended up with 282 runs to be chased. 281 was what they got as a lead. 282 runs to chase fourth innings, World Test Championship final, knowing that you've never won any finals of worth for the last 27 years. Madhur, that's more pressure than we can even imagine.
Yeah,
And South
absolutely.
Africa has gone and delivered just that. So it's absolutely brilliant.
And especially you are chasing 282 in a friendly wicket. You faced 138 all out, and in front of you there are champions of bowling side, Hazelwood, uh, talking about Mitchell Stark, Pat Cummins, and that's the Eden Markram and like Themba Bavuma. The partnership brings back in the game, and I think if the half century not comes from Mitchell Stark, South Africa would have win from yesterday.
Probably that partnership and the runs that Mitchell Stark scored, the 50 that he scored, and we've seen him bat well in the past as well. So it's no surprise. Yes, I think South Africa made some mistakes, and that chase could have been a lot lesser. But when South Africa went out to bat, remember Aiden Macram was on a pair. He had got a duck in the first innings. So then to come out chasing 282, and we know Aiden Makram's game, it's a natural, instinctive, aggressive game. Likes hitting fours, likes hitting sixes. In this entire match, there has been only one six that was hit by
Yeah.
Bavuma in the first innings. That's it. So throughout the second innings, for Aiden Makram to control his aggression, to play along the ground, to build that partnership, shows tremendous character of this player. And Temba Bavuma was dropped when he was two. But since then, he pulled a hamstring, but still carried on. That's the character of a captain. He did not give up. He stayed on with Makram, built that partnership. 147 runs they put together. In the context of 282 as a chase, they've scored more than 50% of those runs. And that's exactly what knocked out Australia.
Yeah, absolutely. And the partnership helps them win. Let's take a comment. Krishna Gopal Chakrabarti is commenting. Smith absence on the field will hurt the Aussies. He has so much experience for field settlement and bowling rotation. So, do you think still Smith's injury cost Australia today?
No, not really. Because yes, Smith is an experienced captain, no doubt. He's been a captain in the past. He has lots of experience, but so do the other players around on the field as well, right? And Pat Cummins himself is a very, very sharp, astute, experienced captain. So to not have Steve Smith just for a few changes on the ground and all that, sure, it might have helped. But the way South Africa batted, the way they constructed that chase and that innings, I think we shouldn't take any credit out from them. No matter who was out on the field, they had the best 11 Australians against them, and they came out fighting and they won. And they won really, really well.
Yeah, and in the start of 2020's year 2024, they sent their D team to the New Zealand because South Africa's players are going for SA20. South Africa lost that series, and that percentage for the final is just 38. And after that, to finish number one and to the number one to the champion, this is another story of South Africa. I think doesn't re- who जिसने भगवान ने भी नहीं लिखी है ऐसी एक स्टोरी जो साउथ अफ्रीका ने खुद लिखी है that we can talk about that in the start of 2024. You are just 38% and now to the champion.
Absolutely. And Temba Bavuma, as captain, has now won
Yeah.
8 matches in a row. Undefeated as captain, 8 matches in a row. That does not come just by luck or by chance. That comes from good, solid cricket as a team, good, solid team management. You have to give credit to the coaches, you have to give credit to the backroom staff, people who gel together, the support staff that's there. I'm sure there's enough and plenty support from their families as well that comes in to go out and then from that 38%, like you're saying, to reach the finals one and then to take on arguably the strongest team in the last 3, 4, 5 years in international cricket, Australia, at the home of cricket at Lords, and then to win convincingly by day four after having suffered on day one, absolutely incredible.
Yeah, and some comments on Kagiso Rabada. He is with the South Africa like Jasprit Bumrah with India. He's waiting for an ICC trophy since a long, and now grabbed the 5 wicket haul in the first inning, two, 3 wickets in the second inning. Now with the champion on his tag, the WTC champion. I think the trophy, उससे ज़्यादा कोई, I think no one deserve what he deserved to be the. Every time he performed really well, going to every series, every format. He performed well for the Gujarat in the IPL, now in the WTC final, ending as a champion. How does it feel?
Well, he's a champion bowler, no doubt. And every time there has been a situation where South Africa has needed wickets in a crucial game, in a crucial innings, you found Rabada to be the one who's always stood up. He's always come, he's always delivered. He bowled beautifully in the first innings, took 5 wickets, took 4 wickets in the second innings, got a total of 9 wickets in the match, just one short of 10 wickets in the game. And when you have such a champion bowler in your side, it actually, in a way, makes the job a bit easier for the captain because you know when the chips are down, when the going is tough, you can always turn to somebody like a Rabada, like in India we do with Jasprit Bumrah, like they do in
Mm.
Australia with Mitchell Stark or Hazelwood. These are your key players. Every team will have these sort of key players, especially bowlers, that you go to as a captain when you know that something needs to be done. A wicket needs to be taken, a partnership needs to be broken. And Rabada in this match has been phenomenal. Yes, a lot of credit will be given to Makram for his 136, no doubt. For Temba Babuma, the way he played for his 66 in the second innings, for the run chase, all that is brilliant. But I think Rabada's contribution is massive, as also the spell yesterday, if you remember that afternoon spell when Lungi Ngiri bowled, and he started that by getting Steve Smith out. That spell of
Yes.
about half an hour, 45 minutes was when South Africa took control back of the test match. It was looking to slip away, and they took control of that middle session. And I think that was an equally important contribution.
Yeah, coming to the defending champions, uh, the the runner-ups Australia, they are coming with a new plan that Marnus Labuschagne is opening with Usman Khwaja. Does I think this suits them? Did this thing? But what do you think about this opening pair?
See, Usman Khwaja as an opener, we know is a bona fide opener, really, really good player, left-hander who can play strokes, can also defend. Marnus Labuschagne is also a very, very talented batsman. And it is too early, I think, Madhur, to be honest, to judge whether he'll be successful at the top of the order or not. Yes, he's had a few bad scores, but that's okay. Every batsman goes through that. But it might be a right move because then it lets the other players in the squad to settle into those roles. And we are talking about Manus Labuschagne having failed in this. It is quite possible for the same Manus Labuschagne to go to West Indies as the next series and at the top of the order, score a couple of hundreds. And then suddenly he'll be set in that role. He'll be in that groove. He will enjoy that responsibility of playing at the top of the order. So I think he's a very, very talented batsman. We just need to give him time to prove himself. And the Australian think tank probably thinks the same way.
Yeah, and the main question is, we know that Australia is a champion team. They won this trophy last time in 2023 against India. So where did Australia went wrong? this time.
Well, to be honest, I don't think they went wrong too much. They did not put enough runs on the board initially, but that was simply because South Africa were brilliant. But when you have a 70 run plus lead after the first innings, after getting bowled out for 212, when you're bowling out the opposition for 138, that's when you need to come into the second innings and bat the opposition out. And I don't think the top order of Australia performed as well as they have done in the past. आप अगर इसी पिच पे 320 350 बना लो as a lead, if you get to 320 330, it's a completely different ball game. Yes, you will have all the time in the world, but the pressure is that much more. It goes 30, 40, 50% more. So Australia's second innings, I think, was where they lost the game because they could not put up that huge amount of runs that they would have liked to and would have taken that lead past 300, which would have then put additional pressure on South Africa. I think, other than that, I don't think Australia have done too much wrong. It's just that South Africa have been brilliant. They have been really, really good in all departments. South Africa were brilliant in their fielding. They were brilliant in their bowling. They were very, very good with their batting. Even for fielding, the catches that did not go to them, that snick just in front of first slip or second slip, they did not fumble them. They did not let them go for byes or extra runs. They were top notch throughout this game and deservedly absolute, absolute champions.
Yeah, and well, I am the very lucky that when I was born, this is the first trophy for the South Africa they have won since my in this world. So congrats to South Africa. But some takeaways for this whole WTC cycle for South Africa, or for the Australia and for the other teams to go and use them in the next cycle, because we have coming starting the big series, India versus England. Now the series coming up, so, and South Africa some away series, especially in India. They are going to India and defeat India in India. It's slightly impossible for a team, but looking at the South African point of view, champion team, it is now the test champion team. So how do you look South Africa? What are their thoughts to go to the India and face Indian team?
See, this entire new cycle is going to be very, very exciting because India is starting it off by playing England in this English summer. South Africa are now the champions. For all the teams which are there, the World Test Championship cycle in itself, I feel, is fascinating because you have teams which are thrown into home and away series. It's a tough format. That's why it's called Test cricket, because it's the toughest of formats. It challenges you as a player, as a group, as a team. And over the cycle for the next 2 years, there are going to be some really, really interesting series that will come up. Going to your point about South Africa coming to India to play, remember India, especially now with them having the first series in England for the test cycle. Remember, India is a team in transition at the moment.
Yeah,
Recently, they've had Rohit Sharma, who's retired from Test cricket. You have the great Virat Kohli, who's retired from Test cricket as well. We have a new captain in Shubman Gill. We have a new vice captain in Rishabh Pant. We have new players who've come in, youngsters who've come in, who'll be very, very eager to perform. But it's a team in transition. So it is wrong for Indian fans to expect day one, we are going to go and win every single thing that is there. No, it's going to be tough. The team needs to be backed. The team needs to be given the support of the team management, of the staff, and everybody. When South Africa come to India, it's not going to be easy for India because South Africa will be coming back on the high of having won the Test Championship. At the same time, it's not going to be easy for South Africa either because coming to India and playing is a whole different ball game for foreign teams. So it's going to be a very, very interesting challenge, I think. I honestly feel that South Africa is going to give India a really, really tough fight. I don't think there'll be a team who India can just brush over. So it'll be a fascinating, fascinating test match, a test series. And I'm looking forward to this entire new cycle because we have so many interesting series lined up that it will be a good 2 years of test cricket.
yeah, absolutely, and. Especially a good thing for the Indians is that is a new era of Test cricket for the Indian team. Without Rohit Sharma, without Virat Kohli, a new captain, uh, Shubman Gill, and Karun Nair, who's making his comeback, Sai Sudarshan, Arshdeep Singh, who is are some who call their call ups for this series. So let's see how they will perform because India has, I think, they have not won a series in England from the past 10 to 15 years. So it's time for them to win the series and shows the world that these small teams are the champion, like they did in 2020 and 2021 in Australia. So now it's time for doing this year. Coming back to this game final, South Africa are really happy that they are the champion. But on the other side, um, talking about some players who get the chance but they didn't perform, like Ryan Rickelton. He has a phenomenal season in IPL, but coming back to the Test cricket, he has scored a century, but they have gave him chance in the WTC big final. And in second inning, he scored 6 runs. First inning, he scored 16 runs, but only 20 runs.
That's okay. You have to remember, not every player will play every single game of their life to the best of their ability. Every player will go through ups and downs. There will be scores that you will make, which will make you and the team very, very proud. There will be matches where you will not score. And it's happened to every single player in the world, from the greatest of legends that have played Test cricket, international cricket, to the current crop of players across the globe. We've had Virat Kohli score centuries, Virat Kohli score single digit scores as well. The legendary Sunil Gavaskar has done the same thing. The likes of Clive Lloyd, Viv Richards, you name any of the legends of world cricket throughout the eras, throughout the different generations. They've always had highs and lows, so that's okay. But as long as at the end of the day the team has gelled in really well and performed well, that's what matters, especially in Test cricket. In all formats of the cricket for sure, but especially in Test cricket, over a 5 day format, to gel as a team, to keep the opposition under pressure, and then to come out as champions, as winners of a test, that's a massive, massive thing to do. And to that, I give full credit to the entire South African team. I think they've been superb. I hope it's a new era for them in terms of now going on to win more trophies and really make their mark in the world, in the global cricket circuit.
Yeah, they have their, I think, practice series against Zimbabwe after this game. They are going to Zimbabwe and they are playing their two-match test series, a 3 or 2 match. So let's see how they will perform because we know Zimbabwe is an underdog team and perform against them after winning a champion, give them so much uh, excitement or so much thoughts for the big series they have won. So let's see what South Africa's. So do you know what South Africa's tours for this next cycle apart from India's tour?
Not really. I was actually going through it yesterday. I haven't gone through the new cycle schedule in detail. I think South Africa will also be playing Pakistan, if I'm not mistaken, at some point. So I, to be honest, don't have the full cycle details, and I think ICC will release a revised schedule by the end of this month, which will not only cover the various teams and where they're playing home and away, but also in terms of when those matches and series will be scheduled. So, based on that, it'll be interesting to see what the journey is of all the key teams, right? Especially the ones that always turn out to be favorites at the beginning. England has been playing well under their new leadership and format with baseball and all that. South Africa, of course, are champions now. Australia have always been a strong team. India, though they're a team in transition, are also a very, very strong team. And mind you, there are the others as well. You don't expect the likes of Pakistan or Sri Lanka to hold back. They will come strong as well because they know that this is a format where if you can do really well in the home series, then you already have a very, very strong chance of going up that ladder because then even if you don't win but draw an away series, that will still give you additional points as well. So the new format, along with the points and everything, will be interesting across all the teams. And like I said, it'll be interesting to see the next 2 years of Test cricket across the world. I can't wait.
Yeah, and South Africa, if we talk about South Africa's WTC 2027 cycle, they have home series against Australia, England, and Bangladesh, and away series as we talking about India, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka. So talking about the home against Australia and England, they are really going to be the toughest rivalry for the, especially Australia. There is a new battle that South Africa taking on Australia in the Test cricket, and same goes with England. How they face now that Bangladesh, I think, don't see that they will face some problems, but we don't know about the cricket. Uh, there might be happen something away, and then Pakistan and Sri Lanka is the away game. They are going to Pakistan. They are going to Sri Lanka to play their WTC cycle 2027.
Yeah, so the away cycle for South Africa, like I mentioned initially, that yes, they're playing India and they're playing Pakistan as well, and now you mentioned Sri Lanka as well. So all three of those away series are in the Indian subcontinent. So
Yeah.
that in itself will be a very, very interesting challenge for South Africa to see how do they manage to play under those conditions, the different sort of pitches to what they've been used to. Their pitches back home are completely, or at least a fair amount of difference between them and the ones that you get in the subcontinent. The subcontinent also favors a lot more spin. So, how will the batsmen, the test batsmen of South Africa, cope with that? The challenges of playing in the subcontinent in front of those massive crowds and all that as well. So, yes, it's not going to be easy for South Africa at all. But then, as you very well know, if you are a champion team, nothing's going to come easy. No test series win ever comes easy. You have to fight it. You have to put your best foot forward, and then you have to make it count. And it's up to South Africa now that they're the reigning champions, having beaten the defending champions. It's now very, very important for them to strengthen this reputation.
Yeah, absolutely. We know we don't know what comes next. We know India is a champion team in their home turf, but well, we don't know New Zealand came. They smashed them away with a 3-0. So they are the some thoughts, but I think the South Africa versus India and India will going to be the toughest rivalry because don't have these experienced players. And if India win this England series, they have some experience or they have some motivation to go and play against South Africa, against the champion team at home.
Yeah, well, see, playing for your national team anyway is the biggest motivation for every single player, be it Indian, be it any other nation, right? India playing in England, and you mentioned if India win the series in England, it is definitely not going to be easy.
Yeah.
Five test matches in the England summer across five different venues is not going to be easy at all for Team India, especially with the new emerging team that we have. Having said that, Team India definitely have the skill set amongst their players. They have the bowlers, they have the batsmen. So I think it's going to be a really, really tough battle, a very close battle. It might be decided based on just one or two really, really good games, whichever team wins, and then pull that series through. And yes, then when India hosts South Africa, India have always been strong at home. You talked about the New Zealand series, which India won. I think it was a case of India at home taking it a bit too easy, thinking that they're going to very easily run over New
Yeah.
Zealand. And that was a very, very strong wake up call for India. That listen, you cannot just expect to show up at a test and win the test match and the test series. You have to perform across all departments, across every single day of the test match. India did not do that. New Zealand did that and did that very, very well. And hence the 3-0 result for New Zealand was very, very well deserved for the Black Caps, and India had a lot to learn from that. So we are hoping that India does not make those same mistakes. India go and perform well in England and then come back and don't take any team within this cycle lightly and take every series on its merit, give it the importance that it deserves, and then let's see. May the best two teams again reach the finals of the next cycle.
Yeah, and absolutely India's new all eyes on India's new test captain Shubman Gill, his captaincy, his performance. He has some leaders in the team like KL Rahul, Shapan, Jasprit Bumrah. Hopefully he will get some doubts cleared from them and shows in the not in the England series but in the coming up series till the 2027 cycle, so that if India not reaches the final, but a good captaincy by Shubman Gill. So the another cycle to 2027 to 2029, we can see Shubman Gill as a test captain for India.
Yeah, I think Shubman Gill as a captain has been talked about for quite some time across media. I think it's a great choice in terms of the fact that he's young, he's talented, he has the skill set for sure. Yes, he's been captain in the past for an IPL franchise, but that's a completely different ball game. The T20 format and an ODI format, the shorter format of the game, is a completely different format. So let's not mix those two. Test cricket has its challenges, and yes, it is going to be a huge learning curve for Shubman to not only lead the side, but also to lead by example, to perform well, to do his reputation a lot of good by playing well in England. Again, like I said, he has the skill set. He's definitely a very, very mature young individual. So I'm sure he'll have the backing of every single member of the team. Senior guys like KL Rahul, Jasprit Bumrah, Jadeja, they're all there to guide him. And I'm sure he'll look at them for guidance. But at the end of the day, the onus and will be on him to perform well, to lead the team well. And as Team India fans, as long as India play good cricket, even if some results don't go their way, as long as they play really, really good cricket with good intent and get some really good results, I think the team should be backed completely by fans and by media and give the young team a chance to reset themselves and to prove themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. Hope that India will uh, do good in the upcoming cycle. And as we come up that all the way that South Africa are the new WTC champion. Australia got the defeat, but it's time for the South Africa. Thank you, sir, for the joining, and hopefully South Africa will win another ICC tournaments in the next cycle or the next like T20 World Cup. Especially they have the biggest ODI World Cup in their home site, so they have the opportunity to grab that 2027 World Cup. But as an Indian, we think that it's Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli's last, so we support the team India. So, but it's a game. Let's see who will win. But congrats to South Africa and congrats to Australia who reaches that uh, la, लगातार दो बार final में they are reaching like India, but India got the defeat. They got in, but now South Africa the champion. Thank you, sir, for the joining. Thank you, everyone, for the joining. We will come with the next live in this big series of the India versus England. So, then, thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much.